The United States is not and will never be at war with Islam. We will convey our deep appreciation for the Islamic faith, which has done so much over the centuries to shape the world, including in my own country.
Now, I'm going to say something to you right now. Either Obama is ideologically and dangerously naive, like the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. It doesn't matter whether he is ideological and dangerously naive or he is a stealth activist for an enemy of America. It makes no difference. He is as much a national security risk to this nation as Cheney and Bush were in their own way. We are being undermined left and right under Obama. The man who put him in power, in my opinion, is George Soros. George Soros, the money changer in the Temple of Freedom. George Soros came out and said that the dollar has to be replaced by a basket of world currencies. This basket case, for whom there is not enough profit in the entire world, he is the nowhere man who will suck the world into his horn. It doesn't matter to him what happens as long as he makes more money. Soros, an immigrant to America who could not wait to cut America's heart out, has said that he would like to see the U.S. dollar replaced as the world currency. He would like to see it replaced by a basket of currencies. Now, remember who's saying this. This is the man who put Obama in power, number one. This is the man who made $1 billion by shorting the English pound. This is the man who stirred up anti-Semitism around the world by almost busting out the Malaysian currency. This man now wants to break the U.S. dollar over his knee. So I say to you, Obama is either ideologically and dangerously naive, like the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten, or he is a stealth underminer of America. It doesn't really matter which one. He is a national security risk, in my opinion. Now, what's interesting is a poll came out over the weekend, and it's a poll from the Pew Research Center, which is a left-wing poll. But even they say that the partisan gap in the Obama job approval is the widest in modern history. Now, let me explain that because it's very interesting. Obama has the most polarized early job approval ratings of any president in the past 4 decades. Let me explain what that means. He has a high Democratic poll rating, very, very high, but he has a very low approval rating among Republicans. So you say, well, isn't that typical? No, it's not typical. Because there is an 88% job approval among Democrats, and an only 27% job approval among Republicans. That's a 51% partisan gap. A 51% partisan gap, right? But if you look at the difference in George W. Bush's job performance in April of his administration, a few months into his term, there was a much smaller gap. Democrats actually liked Bush in the beginning, you see. And if you go back even to Bill Clinton, the gap between Clinton's Democrat approval and Republican approval was substantially smaller than what Obama faces right now. And if you go back even further, you will see an even smaller differential, even amongst Jimmy Carter and Richard Nixon. In fact, the majority of Republicans approved of Jimmy Carter's job performance in late March of 1977, and a majority of Democrats approved of Nixon's performance at a comparable point in his first term. This is fascinating. Now, here we have a president who has polarized America. He has not brought hope or change. He has brought division. He goes to Europe. North Korea fires a rocket. The man whines to the United Nations and does nothing. He could have shot down the missile. He could have blown up the launch pad. Instead, he whined to the UN, and they said, you know what, we can't do anything. We now have not only Neville Chamberlain in the White House, we have something more. But I want to go back to Obama saying that Islam has made, I don't know the word. Did he say change it again. I want to run it again.
We will convey our deep appreciation for the Islamic faith, which has done so much over the centuries to shape the world, including in my own country.
Now, hold on. He says including in my own country. If he said shape the world, including in my own country, I would disagree with him. If he said shake the world, including in my own country, I would agree with him. I have a question for you. Can you think of one contemporary Islamic contribution to America other than Obama? One contemporary Islamic contribution to America other than Barack Hussein Obama? And did he say shape or shake the world? If that isn't enough, there's much more today on the Savage Nation. Let's make it very personal. I have noticed that Fox News has created a sub-organization on their web called Fox Nation. They are the next in line to steal from the most creative man in the media, Michael Savage. The Fox Nation stolen from the Savage Nation. I ask you a question. Across the media landscape, my ideas are appearing without any attribution. Who in the media has stolen ideas from Michael Savage that you know of? When is the last time you were watching television or listening to the radio and said to yourself, wait a minute, hold it. I heard that first on Michael Savage's show. 1-800-449-8255. Obama and the Muslim world. Obama and the Muslim world. Now, he said that the United States is not at war with Islam. He is right about that. But unfortunately, many in the Islamic world are at war with the United States. He left that out. The fact of the matter is that Islam, as it is practiced by many extremists around the globe, is incompatible with the modern world. The radical Islamofascists still treat their women like cattle. The radical Islamofascists still stone homosexuals to death. The radical Islamofascists still live in a way that has not changed since the 9th century. In a fundamental way, Islam and the West are at war. Call it a Cold War, if you will. But I'm not sure that the victims of 9/11, the victims of the Bali bombing, the victims of the Madrid bombing, or the victims of the London bombing, or even the bombings in Bombay, I don't think that their families would agree with Obama. Another thing that Obama said in his speech, which was curious, to say the least, is that Islam has done much for the United States. It was sort of an add-on. I challenge you, listening to the show, to be fair here on the Savage Nation. Can you think of one contemporary Islamic contribution to America other than Paul Anka and Barack Hussein Obama? 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. Chicago, George, you're first up. Go ahead, please.
Islam given contributions to the world, I guess the Persian Empire, the Ottoman Empire, I see they brought just death and destruction to the world. I can't see what they've done.
I don't know why the president is going around kissing the robes of all of these Muslim nations. What's this all about?
I have no idea. I'm from Greek descent. I'm first generation in this country, and I go to my folks, and my folks get the feed from Greece. And all the people in Greece were chanting and were so happy when they were against Israel during the little war they just had a couple months ago. And now they're screaming because Obama went to Turkey and not to Greece. I mean, I'm trying to figure out through all of history. That's why I like your show, Mike, is that you always deal with the history going on from centuries.
Well, let me give you a piece of history. Notice what I opened with. It went over, a lot of heads because it was fast. I said either Obama is ideologically and dangerously naive, and I gave a historical example like the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten, Akhenaton, or he is operating for other powers. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. He is still a national security risk. Did you read that he is dismembering the U.S. military, including our missile defense shield? What is that all about?
I don't know what that's all about. Same thing like he wants to get rid of nukes. Here out in Chicago.
He wants to get rid of nukes while Kim Jong-il fires a rocket upon which he wants to place a nuke. While Iran says drop dead, we'll do whatever we want. This man takes down a missile defense shield, the funding for it. He eliminates the F-22 fighter. Which side is he on? Is he working for the enemy? Nobody knows anymore with this guy. Thanks for the call. James in Illinois, welcome to the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to just comment. I believe that the Arabs contributed the Arabic numerals.
Well, we know that the Arabs contributed the Arabic numeral system, numbering system. That we understand. They replaced the cumbersome Roman numeral system, but that's not the point. Obama said that the Islamic world has contributed much to this nation. Let's talk about contemporary contributions. Can you think of one?
The anatomy of books that they contributed. I mean, they were the first.
Wait, the anatomy of what?
I'm sorry. Big fan. They were the first to really write any in-depth books on the anatomy of the human body.
Okay, again, you're not hearing me. Apparently, I'm not communicating, and I think I specialize in communication. Obama goes to Europe. Obama goes to Turkey, and he says that Islam has made major contributions to the world. They have shaped or shaked I don't know which one, the world, including my own country. How has Islam shaped America?
I don't think they've shaped America. They've definitely shaped the rest of the world, though, because there's this increase in France. I don't know if you're the Arab population.
Of course they've shaped the world. Through 3 of their crusades, they killed hundreds of thousands of Christians and Jews to subjugate them and convert them to Islam. It was only the Spaniards and the French, who still had you-know-whats, who stopped them from converting all of Europe to Islam. But with men like this, I don't think they need the bomb or the sword to complete the job. I'll be right back.
Savage.